Hey y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Welcome to Flame Tarot. So I'm here to give y'all some messages. I decided to just go ahead and do a message and just let y'all know just a little bit about me, right? Alright, so, well, before I get into that, I have a few channel messages that I want to relay. And it says, hell is a mindset that you will be tormented in if you don't conquer your temptations. Alright? That's why the saying heaven on earth exists. Because raising your vibrations will put you in a Christ-like state or a Buddha state. Alright, so they want y'all to know that. Also, when you die, you get judged by the elders. Then immediately, you make a contract to reincarnate into another body. Not necessarily coming back into this timeline, but possibly another one. I don't know, because time doesn't really exist. It exists here. Anyway, so also it says, all right. So it says also sometimes you may die by a ritual or in a ritual, but come back into your body with enhancements or spiritual attachments. I was going to say enhancements, but yeah, enhancements and attachments. All right, so I don't want to go too much into that, but that's kind of like spiritual possession as well too. It exists. That's why sometimes people need an exorcist to exorcise the spirit out of there or the demon in there. Those are demonic things, but just like the demonic things can get inside of you, spirit, really high vibrational things can get inside of you, like angels or they can be attached to you as well. So, okay. Now I can talk about some other stuff. Oh, it says every person usually has 4 spirits attached to them at birth. So, I'm going to talk about that on another video. That's a whole nother video within itself. But I want to let y'all know that last year I had another death. I died last year. April 17th was my death date, right? And then I woke back up on the 19th April. All right. So anyway, I just want to let y'all know this. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. So I want to tell y'all. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that. Let's talk about that. So I died last year, right? So you might want to say, what's the cause of the death, right? What's the cause of the death? All right, so my homegirl, who I've been knowing for a long time, I'm not going to say her name. I've been knowing this girl for since the 5th grade. She gave me, I used to do X pills. I used to do all kind of stuff. I just don't do a lot of that stuff no more because I be trying to focus on my business and, so it's a lot of stuff I cut out. And it's been years since I've done a lot of stuff, so last year she had some X pills, and so I was like, "Ooh, give me half." And so she cut it in half or whatever. She bit it in half and gave it to me, but she didn't. I don't know if she took that part or whatever. Anyway, make a long story short, that little half of X pill made me later on when they left, I couldn't breathe or whatever. I was having and I have asthma. But I was having I had the worst asthma attack after that. It seemed like it was an asthma attack. And I had to go to the hospital. And make a long story short, it was horrible. So I end up, anyway. So before I get to that, let me let you know, before I get to that part, because I'm clearly here. So last year, so that was the cause of that. So 4 days prior to that, my dad's sister died, that was April 13th. So she died, and then 4 days later, I had to go to the hospital where I almost died, where I thought I did die, I did die because when I woke up, I thought it was the same day, and it was 3 days had passed by. So anyway, so I didn't know that. Then the next month, May 11th, my cousin overdosed on cocaine. Okay, Then a month after that, my brother died while he was on tour with Erykah Badu. He's a pianist. He was a pianist, but he also was, worked with Janet Jackson as well too, and a couple other people. That's not important, but yeah, he didn't overdose. He had a heart attack in his hotel room, and that was just crazy. I had lost all those people, and then this year, last week, I just lost my grandmother. I mean, I knew she was gonna die. She was ready to die. She was ready to die. She was just talking about dying. She was ready. She was like, "You think if I get up and fall, I could go out quicker?" I'm like, "Granny, oh my God!" But anyway, but she just, I don't know. She was 99 though. But anyway, I've had her that long, or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So I've lost all these people, or whatever. So this last death that I've had several near-death experiences, or a lot of death experiences actually, that I can remember. But what I do remember is that it's usually 2 to 3 days. Yeah, near-death experiences, or basically it's like what am I trying to say? It's kind of like you leave your body and you come back. It's almost kind of like I don't know. It's weird. So, all right. So it says, let me just stay on track. It says, talk about your near-death experiences. All right. So I remember I got brought. Okay, I used to go to TSU. I went to TSU. I was at TSU when Hurricane Katrina hit, and the city was really bad, with two cities in one. You know what I'm saying? And I stayed on campus, and I remember me and my homeboys, we were walking back from this after hour, and we was looking for some cigars, but all the stores was closed, and this dude was like, "I got a cigar," and so he was like, "Yeah, just come to my car." I don't know why we followed this nigga to where we thought his car was, but it was clearly like 3 niggas with techs. They had guns, and they was like, mind you, I used to take handlebars, and I was on Xanax then. And Xanax don't make you have no conscience, okay? So, I think that's what saved me, actually. I didn't have no conscience. Anyway, so he was like, and I had a lot of money on me too, but I had on a jacket that had a whole bunch of zippers and shit. So it was like, anyway, so he didn't really know where my money was, but I did have a wallet, and anyway, so we walked to him around the corner, whatever. And there's these dudes with the guns, and then he was like, "Put your hands on the car." So we put our hands on the car, and so he checking us, and so when he got to me, he checking me, and I'm looking back at him, robbed me. He's like, "Man, you ain't never supposed to look back when you get robbed." He was like, "You ain't never got robbed before?" And I was like, "No." And the nigga pistol with me, right? And he pistol with me, and I had these Gucci shades on that my homeboy had just bought me with his FEMA check. And I seen the glasses fly off my face, and I see them fly over the car and break in slow motion. And I thought I said I thought I said this part in my head. I said, "Damn, my glasses." I thought I said it in my head, and this nigga was like, "Your bitch ass up here worried about some motherfucking shades. I'm up here robbing your bitch ass, nigga. Get the fuck out of here." So, anyways, that was a crazy one. And then maybe like 3 months later in the same city. I guess I was with the same people. I don't know. It could have been the people. I don't know. It could have just, I don't know. Well, we had a wreck on the highway, and the tire blew out, right? When I tell you the car flipped like 4 to 5 times, and I'm the only one that remembers the wrecks. We were coming back from this bar. It's called Bartini. It's in Houston. I don't even know if that's some West Timer. Anyway, we were coming back from there, and one of the tires blew out, and it caused the car to flip. And so, yeah, I remember us being on the hood of the like not on the hood, but the car being on the hood, on the roof of the car or whatever. And I remember kicking the window out and waking everybody up. I basically had to pull 2 people out. It was 5 of us in like one of those contours, like a Ford contour. We were in one of those, but it was packed. You know what I'm saying? So I just remember that whole wreck. I remember waking them up and like kicking the window out and seeing gas leaking from the car. It didn't blow up or nothing like that, but just seeing all that. I mean, that was crazy. So that's another experience. Also, I remember I was in South Dallas, the hood. I'm not even from the hood. Okay, I didn't grow up in the hood or none of that, but I do have a whole lot of hood friends. You know, I love hood friends. My mom and daddy used to. All my babysitters had a gold tooth in a French roll or a French roll in a Cadillac. I'm talking about all my babysitters had gold teeth. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that so I was in South Dallas, and so I was it's this one. If y'all never been to Dallas, Dallas is hood. It's in some areas it's just real hood, but on the weekends, I guess just like in any other city, they be outside and kicking it or whatever. And so we were just outside kicking it or whatever. And so these dudes just started shooting at each other. Like, I'm talking about like shooting the same area we in, but like actually like across from us. You know what I'm saying? Like one guy is on like closer to us and the other one is like literally like we can see these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, like I don't know how we didn't get hit. That's just crazy. I don't know. But and then another time was what was this saying? It says the gas station. I don't know what this one is. Oh yeah, that's about that lady. Okay, so on Cedar Springs. Okay, so in Cedar Springs in Dallas, that's the gay strip or whatever. So I remember they used to have this. What's that right there? I think it's a Valero, but it used to be a window where you could walk up to it and just get your stuff, you know, like cigars or whatever the hell you want. And it was this stud or whatever, and we had like kind of walked up at the same time, and she was like, I was like, you know, you can go ahead. And she was like, no. She was like, you go ahead. I was like, all right. And so I'm ordering or whatever, getting the shit or whatever I'm getting, and I hear gunshots, and I hear people screaming and running. I'm like, damn! I'm like, gunshots sound mighty close, and it was the stud. She was behind me shooting at people. I'm like, God damn! I don't know. So that's all these experiences have helped me become who I am or whatever. That's why I pretty much not necessarily just hang by myself, but I pretty much am a loner. But I work a lot too as well. But anyway, so they said the near-death experience takes about, not the near-death experience, the actual dying and coming back process, like the resurrection process, takes about 2 to 3 days. I don't know why it takes that long, but it does. So also it says, how do you feel when you wake up? So you feel, it took me a while to wake up. I didn't even know I was, I guess I was in a comatose state this last time. Okay, let me tell you about that. So when I get to the hospital, right, I can't breathe, so my breathing was at like 80 or something like that. It's not supposed to be that low or whatever. So it just kept getting worse and worse because the hospital was actually kind of busy, and so I was in the not the waiting room, but you know how they put you in the emergency room. I was in one of them. So I remember my father coming, and I remember looking at my father's face, and I told him, I said I'm gonna have to see you next lifetime, and I was so serious, and that's the last thing I remember. And the next thing I remember was I remember my eyes were open. They were okay. Let me get to that point. So when I thought I died, at that point I thought I died because I just told my dad I was gonna see it next lifetime or whatever. And so then I just that was the last thing I remember. I literally passed out, and I'm in the hospital at this point. I passed out at the hospital, and my sister said when she came up there, she said, first of all, she said she didn't tell me how many people came. The doctor came in there and told me how many people came. And he said, I ain't never seen this many people come to the emergency room for someone, like to visit them. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. So I grew up in a church, Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, where Pastor Tony Evans is the pastor, and it's a lot of good people that have come from there. But we're really good friends with his family or whatever, and so we were one of the first. I guess like first 15 families to start the church or whatever. We were in anyway. We used to be in Carter High School gym or whatever. Anyway, so when Jonathan is actually about to take Pastor Evans' spot eventually, right? His son, basically. And he came up there. When he heard that I was in the hospital, he came up there. And I didn't even know he was up there. I was like, dang. And then it's a couple of other people that came up there to visit me are passed away now. Like, I'm like, dang, like, this is crazy. Like life is crazy. Like, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is like, you really don't have a lot of time to, like, bullshit, you know? Whew. Yeah, so how do you feel when you wake up? So you wake up, you're basically, like I said, I didn't really know I was asleep. I mean, I didn't know I was out that long or comatose that long. So I was kind of course you're confused. Everybody wakes up and realizes, dang, how long have I been out? You know, all that. But actually feeling wise, I just felt really tired. But I felt excited as well too. I felt like I needed to, I felt excited. I felt tired, but I felt excited. But also when I woke up, I was hooked up to like so many tubes and all kind of shit, like, and they had my arms constrained or like down or whatever, because you know when somebody wakes up, they immediately are gonna raise up, right? You know, and so I was hooked up to so many machines that they had to tie my hands down. So upon waking up to that, you know, that was really strange. But the fact that I woke up and then, you know, because I thought I was in heaven. When I when I woke up, I was like, is this heaven? This can't be. I was like, okay, I guess I'm in heaven, right? And so I thought I was in heaven. And so the lady, she was like, oh, you up? She was like, oh my God, you open your eyes. She was like, what? She went and got like some other nurses or whatever, so they came in there, and then, you know, they were happy or whatever. And so I started doing, I couldn't talk at all. Like I had that, what's that thing called, the trachea thing in there? I had that shit in my throat, so I couldn't talk. And so I was doing like this, like I wanted to write something. So she gave me a pen and a pad or whatever. So I wrote, and I said, "Where am I?" And she was like, she said, "Oh, you're in the hospital." That's what she explained to me, everything or whatever. Then I was like, I could, mind you, I couldn't really see, or I'm not like visually. It's almost kind of like you're waking up from anesthesia, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of like that, because when I passed out, they immediately gave me a bottle. They gave me two. I realized they gave me 2 whole bottles of propofol, whatever that is, the shit that they gave Michael Jackson. They gave me 2 bottles of that shit. Okay, and listen to this, fentanyl. Okay, I remember being comatose and laying on the whatever the fuck, the hospital bed. I don't know where I was at this point, because this is past the point that I had passed out. So and my eyes were closed. So yeah, because I was sedated or whatever. And so I remember the lady saying, or the nurse saying, "This is fentanyl," and I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to die. Well, I don't know. I remember I couldn't move or anything. I couldn't move or open my eyes, or I could just hear voices. I could hear voices, but it wasn't a whole lot of them. But I heard that when she was like, "Okay, this is fentanyl," and I was like, I felt like that man just said oil can. I felt like I was trying to make myself. I'm like, bitch, don't give me no fentanyl. Anyway, but that's a totally different fentanyl than the street fentanyl. Anyway, so that's another reason why I thought I died. And so, anyway, all right. You said, where did I go after I died? Or where you went after you died? Every last few times I've realized, well, I would say 2 times I realized it's a place where it's just darkness. It's not really dark. It's like a in between gray and black. It's like I want to say I've never been to space, but I guess I want to say it's kind of like it's not really a color. But it is in between gray and black. I can say that, and it's not like, I can't explain it. Anyway, so it's in between dark gray and black, but it's nothing. It was really cold, well, not cold but cool, but it was nothing there. It was like nothingness. It was like absolutely nothing there. And I remember me just like being there. I mean, but this is also me in a state of resting too as well. So I don't know. Whenever you die, it feels like it's a dream. Okay, that's what it feels like. It feels like it's a dream. But this particular dream, it was no dream. It wasn't no pictures, nothing. It was no storyline or anything. And it was really just nothing there. And then I remember at one point hearing a voice like in my head. It was all a mental, it was all in my mind, not in my mind, it was all in my brain. Like I can hear, I don't know, it was really strange. It was like it was a part of me or something. It was just like this spirit talking to me and saying, what did it say? What are you wanting? That's what it said. What are you wanting? And I said what I said, I guess, you know. And then I woke up or whatever. It wasn't really like a wake up. It was more so I had a conversation with my spirit guide, and it wasn't a long conversation. It was they asked the question and I answered it, and that was it. It wasn't like your wish is granted or none of that shit. It was just like, you know, I answered it. And then I remember, the next thing I do remember is my sister. My sister telling me, she was like, your body was shaking. She was like, you were shaking. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, you was shaking, like your whole body, like that, like you were being electrocuted. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Cause I don't remember any of that. But anyway, so it says, what did I see? What did I see? Now, one time I remember, but that wasn't a near-death experience, but one time I do remember when I had an awakening. This is my first awakening that I had, and I was going through a really traumatic event. This is possibly like in 2015, and I was going through a breakup or some shit or whatever, and I was depressed. And I remember being in a state of like, what do you call that? Like, you know, like you just be crying and like you just, who's that? Oh, y'all gone? Alright. Bye. I'm sorry, I'm doing a video. Yeah, so, sorry, I'm at work. I forgot what I was talking about. Damn, what was I saying? Let me see. What did I see? Oh, I was saying about what I saw when I was depressed in this dream. Well, it wasn't a dream. It was like, I I guess I was just restless, and I was in the meditative state where I had my eyes closed, and I remember seeing this deity. It looked like myself, but it had an elephant trunk, and it was just sitting there. And this is before I even started studying Buddhism or anything like that, or Hinduism and all that. And it was just sitting there, like I said, in the gray black energy or whatever it was. I can't atmosphere, I guess. And it was just there, but it was huge. It was like I can't even. Now you know what? I never saw myself, so I can't say myself compared to that was big, because I just saw that. It wasn't like I saw my body too, if that makes sense. It was just like, it was just this. And anyway, I found out that was who is that? It's a deity. Oh yeah, what's his name? Starting with a G. I can't even. Ganesha. It was this one right here. It was like this, and Ganesha comes in a few forms or whatever, a few types of elephants. Yeah. Anyway, or sometimes Ganesha can be riding. I think Ganesha can be riding a bird or something like that. It's a depiction in here. Let me see. But anyway, I saw some stuff like that, and it just made me have like a realization about spirituality, because I didn't even understand what I saw. I didn't even understand what I saw until I was hanging out with one of my clients whose hair I was doing at the time, and we were talking about it and smoking some weed or whatever. He was like, "Man, you was in the fifth something." He was like, "You was in the fifth dimension or some shit." He said. He was like, "I've been trying to get there." He was like, "I got this book," and he was like, "Everything you said, you just explained this 1/5 whatever it is that he was talking about." And I just really, well, anyway, so upon me learning about spirituality, different other religions, it just makes me realize that everything is just one. It's just all one. But back to this. All right, so what question? I already talked about what questions I was asked. All right. I don't want to talk about the people I've been. Okay, so let's talk. I've talked about. No, I don't want to talk about that. I guess we could talk about that another time. I'll talk about escaping people. I don't want to talk about that tonight. So yeah, so that's that, y'all. I think I'm done talking about that. Let's talk about. No, I don't want to talk about that. Alright, I think that's all the messages I want to share. Even though I did write down like a whole lot of stuff, I pretty much talked about all of it. I just okay, we could talk about this. Okay. And somebody can run with this. I won't be mad. Alright, near-death experiences release a chemical called adrenochrome. And this can be harvested, and it's harvested, right, by people who use it or whatever, and they extract it from your blood and or your pineal glands or whatever. And so the adrenochrome is released. It's the chemical released when you're scared. So anyway, we're gonna leave it there, and I'll touch on that later. All right, or I'm gonna add some. I'll put some with some and make something happen. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time.